Hello subscribers, hello YouTubers, how are you? I hope you're well. This next vlog is about the T word, and it's about its history and its connotations and what it means to parts of the community. If you were really triggered by the T word, I wouldn't watch this vlog because I'm going to say it a lot, and it's plural setting as well. So if you're really triggered by the T word, don't watch another one of my vlogs instead. Don't watch this one. However, if you want to know the history behind the word and its connotations and how I'd like to reclaim it, continue watching. Okay, so the T word. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people within the trans community. Some people absolutely hate the T word. Some people embrace it. There's a bit of conflict on both sides. But on the whole, nowadays, the word tends to be quite frowned upon and not used a lot. So what is the T word? Well, the T word is tranny. T-R-A-N-N-Y. Or trannies, plural, T-R-A-N-N-I-E-S. And it was used and invented by the trans community. We invented the word. We came up with the word. It's our word. It was made famous and popular, according to some academics and a number of trans activists and authors, back in the 60s and 70s in the Australian drag and trans scene. It was the word the trans women of that particular cultural group within Australia called themselves. They called themselves trannies. And it sort of stuck, and the community embraced it all through that period up until about the 1980s. However, around about the 80s, 90s, the word started to be picked up upon by the cis community. And rather than use it to describe the trans community, they used it as a form of abuse. Now, I've been called tranny as a form of abuse before, loads of times. I've lost count of the amount of times someone shouted it out in the street. But I don't find it offensive. And in a way, I would like to reclaim the word for the community because we invented it. It's our word. Now, a lot of young trans people don't like the word because of its connotations with transvestites, its connotations with looking in a particular way, its connotations in a derogatory form, and so on and so forth. But I have always embraced the word. When I first transitioned back in the early to mid 2000s, the noughties, a lot of people in the trans community still use the word tranny to describe themselves. And it was something I picked up on straight away, especially when I learnt about the history of the word. Because to me, as I've said already, it's our word. We invented it. It's from us. So this argument now that we should abandon this word because of its connotations that the cis society has taken up on us, we should abandon it and throw it away and never use it ever again and never have it uttered amongst us, just sounds preposterous to me because it's our word. We invented it. And why can't we reclaim it back? If you can reclaim the word gay, because originally gay was a derogatory term, that was reclaimed by the gay community. Dyke, up until recently, was a derogatory word, reclaimed by the lesbian community. And queer is the most obvious word out there that was derogatory, used as slang to beat the gay and trans community to death with. But we've taken the word and we've reclaimed it, and now queer is on the end of LGBTQ. So we've embraced the word queer, we've embraced the word gay, we've embraced the word dyke. Why not the word tranny? Why is it that this particular word is verboten for us? We can't go anywhere near it. We're not allowed to touch it. It makes no sense to me. I always use the word, and within my circles and my trans circles, a lot of my friends are trans, both male, female and non-binary. We use it amongst ourselves to describe ourselves, to describe something we might be doing in the plural, trannies. When we went on a road trip once, we were all shouting at the top of our voices, tranny road trip. But the cis guy in the car couldn't say it. That's the difference. Tranny, to a lot of us, is our word. We use it amongst ourselves to describe ourselves. But cis people can't use it, very much like the N-word. A lot of people in the black community, especially black men, embrace the N-word and use it amongst themselves as banter, as slang. Why is it that we can't do that for the T word? We have it for ourselves, but the cis people can't use it. Or if they do use it, we ignore them and we browbeat them, if you like, because they are using it in a form of abuse, or they're using it because they hear us talking about it and they pick up on it. A number of vlogs which came out a few years ago, one called Tranny Hot Tot Dish, had to change the name and call themselves Trans Hot Tot Dish instead, because a lot of cis people were using the word and picking up on it. Now, this is true. We don't like cis people using it because they use it to be derogatory towards us. But why can't we reclaim it for ourselves? As I say, I always use it. It's a word I go to. It's a word that sums me up. I'm a proud trans woman, and I put that trans first before woman. That's who I am. That's part of my identity. That's how I see myself. I am a trans woman. So why can't we reclaim the word tranny for ourselves? Because, as I say, everyone in my social circle who are trans use it to describe themselves, use it in a jokey term, use it in an off-the-cuff reference to one another. It's our word. But my cis ally friends don't use it and never attempt to use it because they know they shouldn't use it. So what I'm basically saying in this vlog is we should reclaim the word that's ours. We came up with, we invented. Back in those clubs in Australia around Sydney back in the 60s and 70s, we created the word. It was our community that invented it, and it's where it spread out amongst the trans community to become the word and the meaning that it is or was back in those days. Now it's shifted because the cis community have used it, and now a lot of young people want to discard the word. I don't think we should. I think we should reclaim our words. They're important to us. They are what makes our community what it is. They are part of our community's history. And to deny that is to deny a part of our history. So whenever you hear the word spoken, clock who's saying it. Because if it's another trans person saying it to you, they're not being nasty. They're just using it to sum us all up. But if a cis person is using it, you need the connotation because they may be being abusive. And as I said, a lot of people have been abusive towards me using the word before. But I've reclaimed it. I'm using it for myself. I use it in my community. I use it amongst my friends. We banter it about all the time. We use it in banter, we use it in chat. We use it to describe tables in the London hotel where particular groups of people sit. All the rest of it. It's our word. Let's try and reclaim it for ourselves rather than give in to the cis way of thinking and just ignore it and wipe it away because we think it's a term of abuse. We, the community, the trans community, invented the word. We came up with it. It is our word, nobody else's. I hope you enjoyed that vlog. It's very brief. I didn't want to go into too much detail, and I know some people who in the last clip I would have said not to watch may have watched, and I hope you're not too triggered. Please think of it from the way I see it. I'm a historian, I'm an amateur historian, I love history. I always consider that when you're crossing the road, you look both ways. So we should always look to our past to see where we're going and to get a grip of what the future holds for us. So to me it's important because it was the word that the community in Australia created for the trans community. It was our word, and I would like to reclaim it for us. So please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.